I do not want to be the guy that sees one video of Jokic or any player looking in career best shape and go, oh my god, he's going to have a career best season, he's going to be the best he's ever been. But I will say, I've thought about this before. I thought Jokic has another gear to go to for more reasons rather than just his physical shape. Also, look at the video of him and tell me he does not look like, he looks like an athlete. He looks like an athlete now. Before, there was some question marks. He was 7 foot, so I guess you're athletic in that way, and let's not doubt his skill. Trust me, I've never doubted his skill, but athletic-wise, yeah, not quite as much. Last season, took a huge leap, but it looks like he's just getting more serious about his strength, about his conditioning, and that's just going to take him to another level. But it's not just that as to why I'm confident he could go to another level. I'll let you know. Now, before I do that, yeah, sorry, that was a little bit of a setup. But before I do that, if you could drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, or if you aren't and you haven't subscribed, if you haven't, then hit the notification bell. Just do it. It helps out a ton. It's free. That would be appreciated. Let's not wait any longer. Now, for one, we don't need to go back all the way, but I just want to show you Jokic's progression because he has progressed. Let's not forget, he's only 26. He is only 26 and he's got better practically every single season. This is the man who just entered the first year of his prime, the prime of his career. And what did that result in? A clear-cut MVP. There's still people that I'm hearing saying, oh, well, if Joel Embiid was healthy. If Joel Embiid was healthy, well, then maybe he comes second or third. Because he's not winning it. Like, I've had enough of that. I've talked about that before, but you know my thoughts. Joel Embiid, why is there such... Whatever. I don't care. I don't care enough. All I'm going to say is, can we stop that? Can we stop that? First of all, he wasn't healthy. Jokic played every single game, helped his team every single game, helped his team without Murray, with Murray. Embiid wasn't healthy. Even if he was healthy, let's not act like, oh, he definitely would have won, because no, there's absolutely no way about that. But getting back on point, getting back on track, let's not get sidetracked. He's just entering the prime of his career. He's improved every single season. But there's a little few more indicators than that. I think we all knew he had more in him based off the playoffs. That's why I picked him to be the MVP. No, I'm not gloating. I'm just saying that's why I picked him to be the MVP this season, because we've seen him in the playoffs put up 26 a game, 27 a game. He wasn't doing that in the regular season. And that was as a result of him being more aggressive. It was as a result of more responsibility on his hands. His efficiency didn't go down. There was nothing that he changed in his game. He was still the same player. He was just more aggressive. He was asked to do more. He's capable of that. He was more aggressive. And then you look at these playoffs, and again, he improved his numbers. 33 points a game against Portland on, again, fantastic efficiency. Yes, dropped off a little bit against Phoenix. Oh, I mean, he only averaged 25 points a game on okay efficiency. Yeah, terrible, Matt. Terrible. If that's the worst playoff series of his playoff career, do I need to say any more? But anyways, getting back to what I was saying. So he averaged 33 points a game against Portland. You see a trend. He improves in the playoffs. It's because of more aggression. And what is he going to have this season? Well, he's going to have to be more aggressive because the Blue Arrow, Jamal Murray, one of the best point guards in the league, the man who dropped 50 and 50 in a row, the man who was insane in the bubble. He's just a fantastic player. My thoughts on Murray, if you've seen enough videos, you know I'm very high on him. He is out, which means Jokic has more responsibility. We saw what Jokic did when Murray was out towards the end of the season. He carried them. He did what he needed to do. Michael Porter Jr. was great as well. I've talked about the Nuggets more in depth as a whole in a different video if you want to check that out after this. But Jokic in particular, he did what he needed to do. He's going to continue to step up. But I want to show you some stats. Well, at least I went through some stats. In games that were decided by 10 points or less, this was just off my little calculations here, writing it down and whatnot, Jokic averaged 31 points a game, which you would notice is an increase. What does that tell you? When the games are close, Jokic does what he does best, which is he lets the game come to him. If he recognizes he's going to need to step up to help the team win, he's going to be more aggressive. I think back to the Sacramento Kings game, which they didn't win, but he dropped 50 points, one of the best performances of the entire season, dropped about 25 points in the fourth quarter. He was absolutely unstoppable. If you haven't seen that, it was something else. But I think back to that game. The team needed him, and he took every shot. He made every shot. He was doing absolutely everything. He does that in games that are close. The Utah Jazz performance, the team that was top of the league, and then he dropped 47 points on their head. Yes, he has those kind of fantastic performances because he does what's required of him. just to add one more stat, just to make sure that you understand, Nikola Jokic does what is required of him. Jokic played 7 games of 40 minutes or more this season. So close games, and a couple of those games would have been overtime. In those 7 games, you want to guess his stats? I'll let you know. 37.7 points a game, 13 rebounds, 8.9 assists. 38 points a game, 13 rebounds, 9 assists. But the efficiency must have dropped, right? 56% from the field, 45.5% from three. Basically, in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is, whichever way you want to slice and dice it, Nikola Jokic, when he has more responsibility as a scorer, as a playmaker, as a player, let's not forget this man was 20th in usage rate this season, despite being probably the best offensive player in the entire league, the most transformative offensive player, just someone who impacts the team in so many ways. 20th in usage rate. That's behind a lot of guys. Well, the GOAT himself, up the top, you see him. I can't even pronounce his name because I don't have it right next to me, but the Wizards guy, yes, he was first. But apart from that, Jokic was behind a lot of players and still put up those kind of numbers. His usage rate can go up, his responsibility can go up, and his numbers can go up as a result. Whenever Jokic has been asked to do more, he's done it, and he's done it very well. So that's what I'm looking forward to. In terms of responsibility, that's going to be key for him. But then also looking at his physique. Let's talk about the physique for a second, because I think it is important to note that he's in the best athletic shape of his career. That is something that has held him back a little bit. He's been fantastic. We love Jokic, so I'm not trying to say, but you get the point. It has held him back a little bit. Being in better shape. People have compared him to Dirk Nowitzki. I'm not getting into all of that comparison stuff right now. But what if Jokic just turns into a different kind of player? What if he continues to improve as an off-the-ball player? Already a fantastic off-the-ball player, as good as they come when it comes to centers. Just unbelievable. One of the best of all time when it comes to off-the-ball centers. But what if he becomes even better? What if he moves like a forward when he's off the ball and shoots like a forward from the mid-range? Which he does. He does, but even better. Handles like a guard. Creates like a guard. Again, he does this, but even better. What if he starts blowing past defenders even more? He tripled his dunks last season. What does that tell me? It tells me he's getting more athletic, he's getting more confident, he's getting more aggressive attacking the rim. He's going to increase his dunks again. Which doesn't really mean much apart from just a couple of extra highlights. But what it does mean is, when you come out to the perimeter for someone who's a 40% three-point shooter, and he pump fakes you, and now he's past you. He is past you because he's lean, he's in shape, and he's not going to be afraid to take you off the dribble and then kick it out or get to the rim. And a 7-foot Jokic with the handle, with his passing ability, how do you stop that getting downhill? How do you stop this man getting downhill? You just simply cannot. This man is unstoppable for a reason, but this improved physique, this increased responsibility, just thinks to me that he could go from being someone who's in the conversation for the best player in the league. If you think he's the best player in the league, I do not hold that against anyone. Personally, he's in the conversation for me. I genuinely don't know who I would have number one right now, but he's in the conversation to being the clear-cut one. He does have all the ability to be the best player in the league. We've seen it already. He won the MVP for a reason. He was one of the best players in the playoffs for a reason. He's just that good. When you combine everything that he can do with some improved physicality and an improved physique, it's going to be scary. I haven't even mentioned the most obvious benefit from this, defensively. Defensively, Jokic has always been smart, but he has been held back by his conditioning and by what he can do. Last season, you saw he got in better shape, and he was much better defensively. He was solid defensively. But what if he can become even better defensively? Offensively, it's already whatever. If he stays the same, then he's absolutely all-time great. If he gets better, well, he's even more of an all-time great. But defensively, if he can become good or just someone that can anchor a decent top 10 defense, which they were at times, but not for the entirety of the season, then all of a sudden, it's just a different ball game for him. And I see that improving because he does have the defensive instincts. He just needs to shuffle his feet a little bit better, which he improved for sure, and just do a few things better. If he does that, put that together, piece it together. What are we looking at right now? What are we looking at? We don't know what we have in Nikola Jokic. We have never known what we've had in Nikola Jokic because he's completely unique. He's a 7-footer that does things that 7-footers do not do. But I don't think the evolution of Jokic is done just yet. That's why I'm excited. I genuinely believe we could see something different this season. It's not just based off his physique, but it's based off his skill set. We see everything he does, which is play like a guard. Everyone says, oh, well, he's a big man that plays like a guard. What if he just plays like a guard? Just full stop. Forget about the big man. What if he just plays like a guard? We don't really know right now, but all I know is I've seen a couple of training clips and it gets me excited for next season, but it also gets me excited for the prospects of Jokic just taking his game to a different level and being a different kind of player, because what is the evolution of Jokic? What is next in the evolution? People didn't think he would be this good. Some of us did. Some of us did, but people didn't think he would be this good. Who's to say he can't average 30, 12, and 8 next year? Maybe he won't be that selfish to do that, but who's to say he can't improve defensively and just carry this Nuggets team to a top seed yet again? If he does that, if he carries this Nuggets team to a top seed yet again, what else do you have to say? That's all I'm going to end with. What else do you have to say if Jokic improves his physicality again and just looks even better, puts up even better numbers, and, oh, Joel Embiid would have won the MVP if he wasn't hurt? What if he carries this team to a top seed again without Jamal Murray? Think about that. Have a good day.